So, today we will discuss compact sets in a general metric space that requires the concept of open cover. So, first we see open cover. By an open cover of a set, E, in a metric space X D, we mean a collection of open set, collection G alpha, where alpha belongs to the index set, omega of open subsets of X such that arbitrary union of this open set G alpha covers E when alpha belongs to omega. Okay. So, if an collection of the open set whose unions arbitrary union covers E, then we said this collection of the open sets in the metric X D is called an open cover for E. So, we define the compact set, a subset K of a metric space X D is said to be compact if every open cover of X, every open cover of K, every open cover of K contains a finite subcover. That is the meaning of this is, meaning is if G alpha is an open cover of K, then there are finitely many indices, alpha 1 say alpha 2 alpha n, such that the finite union of these sets G alpha 1, G alpha 2, G alpha n, finite union of these covers K. So, this set is said to be compact. So, it is just like a compact set requires the finite number of the open sets which are responsible to cover the entire set. Suppose we have a security system in our IITs, and we are it's foolishness to apply the security point wise, means infinite number of people you just put it on the security, that is not a wise decision. So, what we do, we put up a check post, and then only finite number of check posts is basically is sufficient to look after the security. So, that way we say campus, the security system in the campus, that forms a compact sets. Okay. So, it is just like an arbitrary set E is said to be compact whenever any open cover of it has a finite subcover. That is, there are only finite number of open sets whose union will cover the entire set X. Obviously, finite set is a compact set. Every finite set is compact. there are infinite sets also which are compact. So, we will see that infinite compact sets in all case, we will see there are infinite sets which are also compact. Say just I take an example of a set of all the real numbers in the interval 0 1. It is an infinite sets, but it is compact, because only we can divide say 2 3 intervals we can choose such that the union will cover the whole interval a b. So, that will be we will see the others example for it. Now, one thing which we get that suppose E is a subset of y which is subset of x, and if E is open with respect to relative to y, relative to E is open relative to y, that does not imply that E is open relative to x. It not necessarily that if a set is open in a subset submetric space by, because x t is a metric space, by is a subset of x. So, by d will also be a metric space. So, if a set is open with respect to the metric space by d, then it may or may not remain open with respect to the metric x. And examples we have seen the R 1 and R 2, an open interval a b is open in R 1, but not in R 2, is it not? So, the openness or the closeness of a set depends under which the set is embedded, but this is not the case. So far we consider the compactness. If a set is compact relative to the y, then it has to be compact relative to x and vice versa. So, this is an interesting result for the we have this result as follows. Suppose K is a subset of y which is a subset of x, where x d is a metric space, is a metric space. The result says K is compact, relative to x if and only if K is compact relative to y. So, let us see the proof of this. So, what we want is that if K is compact with respect to y, then it has to be compact with respect to x and vice versa. So, let us suppose K is compact, relative to with respect to or relative to x. It means, if we choose a collection of the open set which are relative to x, those countable union covers K, then there will be a finite subset, a finite collection of those open set which can cover K. This every open cover of K in X will have a finite cover. So, this is known. We wanted to show K is compact relative to y. So, let us consider the open cover of K with respect to y or relative to y. So, let V alpha be a collection of sets open relative to y. Now, prior to this we have one result. We know the result says suppose Y is subset of a metric space X, a subset E of Y is open relative to Y if and only if there is a if and only if E can be written as by intersection G for some open subset G of X. This result we have already shown. Okay. So, using this result we can say if B alpha is given to be an open relative to Y. So, according to this result B alpha can be expressed as by intersection G alpha for some open subset G alpha of X. So, we can say that they are all these sets. So, they are all sets say G alpha open relative to Y, relative to X such that V alpha is nothing but the Y intersection G alpha for all alpha. Means V1 will be Y intersection G1, V2 will be, so correspondingly we can get the open sets G1, G2, Gn relative to X. Okay. Now, what is given is K is compact relative to X. So, G alpha is an open set relative to X. So, this collection of this open cover will have a finite subcover. So, since K is compact relative to X, so there are, so K will be contained in the finite union of these open sets G alpha 1, G alpha 2, G alpha n. Okay, for some choice of finitely many indices, for some choice of indices, finite indices alpha 1, alpha 2, alpha n. Okay, like this. Now, if I take, since K is contained in since K is a subset of X, K is contained in Y, this is given. This is given, K is a subset of Y, K is contained in Y. So, K is contained in Y. So, this implies that K, which is K intersection Y, is contained in G alpha 1 union G alpha 2 union G alpha n intersection Y, and that is the same as this, that union of G alpha I intersection Y, where I is say 1 to n. Okay. But G alpha I intersection Y is nothing but V alpha, is it not? So, this is the same as the union V alpha 1 union V alpha 2 union V alpha n. So, K is contained in this union, that is the finite number of the open subsets relative to Y covers K. This shows K is compact relative to Y. K is compact relative to Y. Now, conversely, suppose K is compact relative to Y. Relative to Y. We wanted to show K is compact relative to X. So, let G alpha be an open cover of X. We open subsets of X which covers K. it is an open cover, covers X, okay, which covers K, sorry, because K is compact with respect to which covers K. Okay. K is compact with respect to Y. What we are doing is, we wanted to show K is compact with respect to X. So, let us find out an open cover G alpha of K. Now, if we prove that this open cover, which is an open cover, which are the open sets with respect to X and covers K, if it has a finite subcover, then obviously K will be compact with respect to X. Okay. So, let us put the V alpha as the set by intersection G alpha. Okay. Y is a subset of X, G alpha is an open set. So, this V alpha will be open set relative to Y, because of the previous result. Okay. Now, this is given K is compact related to Y. So, since K is compact relative to Y, so this open cover of V alpha has a finite subcover. So, there exist alpha 1, alpha 2, alpha n such that the union of these V alpha 1, V alpha 2, V alpha n covers K. Okay. But B alpha 1, B alpha 2, B alpha n, these are the subsets of what? Subsets of G alpha 1 union G alpha 2 union G alpha n. B alpha 1 is a subset of G alpha 1, B alpha n is a subset of G alpha n. So, K is also contained in the finite union of these open subsets which are open with respect to X. Therefore, every open cover of X K relative to X have a finite subcover. So, this implies K is compact relative to X, and that proves the result. Okay. Now, another result shows that closed subset, compact subset, the compact subset of a metric space spaces are closed. Every compact subset of metric space will be a closed set. Whatever the metric may be, it is an arbitrary metric space. Every compact subset is a closed set. Let us see the proof. This we will prove by contradiction. Suppose K be a compact subset of X, K be a compact subset of X D of a matrix. So, in order to show K is closed, if I prove its complement is open subset of X, then is okay. So, in order to prove, required to prove is K is closed. So, what we do is, we will prove that its complement K C, complement of K, this is an open subset of X, So, here we have, this is our metric space, this is a set K. What we want is the complement of this K C is open with respect to X. So, it means if I take any point here, say P, which does not belongs to K, and if we are able to show there exists a neighborhood around the point P which is totally contained in K C, then obviously this point P will be an interior point of K C, but P is an arbitrary. So, we can say every point along of K C we can draw the neighborhood which is totally contained in K C. So, K C becomes open. So, that is the idea of the proof. So, let us take, suppose P is a point belonging to a complement of K, that is K C. Okay. but that is in x, or you can say p, that is p is in x, but p is not in k. That is the meaning of this. P is in x, but it is not in k. Now, let us take a point q. If q belongs to k, then there is a distance between p and q. So, this is the distance between p q. The distance of this is nothing but the d of p q. So, if I take a radius less than half of the distance of p q and draw the neighborhood around these points like this, draw the neighborhood around this point like this, then this neighborhood will be disjoints. So, let this neighborhood be denoted by b q and this neighborhood we denote by w q. So, let us take this let V p B q and W q be neighborhoods of P and Q respectively, B and Q, P Q respectively, of radius less than half the distance between P Q. Okay. Then obviously, that V Q intersection W Q will be empty, disjoints, that is true. Okay. Now, let us take, since K is compact, K is given to be compact, is a compact, K is compact subsets of metric space X T. So, every open cover of K will have a finite cover. So, there are the points q 1, q 2 in q such that the open ball drawn at q 1, q 2, q n, finite number of open ball will be sufficient to cover K. So, let us say there are finitely, so there are finitely many points, say q 1, q 2, q n, k 1, q 2 in K, such that the open balls or neighborhood drawn at this point with a radius half of q 1 p etcetera will remain, such that the neighborhood drawn at these points with a radius I will say after. So, W q 2 union W q n, where the radius of this, radius of W say q I is half of, less than half of the distance from P to q I, Okay. Now, this finite number of these neighborhood will cover K, because K is compact. Okay. Now, since these neighborhoods you are drawing, this is our K, here is q 1, q 2, say q n, here is P. So, what we are doing is, we are drawing a ball, say this ball, okay, and here it say this ball. So, here it is W q 1, this is nothing but V q 1, which are disjoint. Then we are taking say q 2. So, again P 2 we are taking, say this is our say V q 2 and here it is say W q 2. Again they are disjoint, because the distance does not match, does not is less than half of the radius is less than half of P of q 2. So, obviously, there these B q 1, B q 2, B q n will be disjoint with that. Okay. So, let if so V q 1 V q I intersection W q I is empty. Okay. That is, so if we take V as finite union of V q 1, V q 2, V q n, suppose this finite union, then this will be a neighborhood, is a neighborhood of P, is a neighborhood of P, and this neighborhood does not intersect, which does not intersect with W, which is W means W q 1 union W q 2 union this one say W q n, W q n. This does not intersect with this, because this is the smallest one which is disjoint with everyone. So, we have a totally a neighborhood. So, this implies that this neighborhood V is totally contained in the complement part of K. Therefore, P is an interior point of K complement, but P is an arbitrary point. So, this shows that interior of this is an open set in X T. So, once it is open, then K must be closed. So, every compact subset of a metric space is a closed set, and that is what we prove. Okay. Another results. Okay. Closed subsets of a compact set of compact sets, closed subsets of compact sets are compact. So, this we wanted to show, prove. So, let us take an F which is a subset of K, which is subset of X, where F is closed relative to X and Y is a compact set. What we want to show, this closed subset, that is F, which is a subset of a compact set, is compact. So, every closed subset of a compact set is compact, that is what we show. So, required to prove is F is compact. F is compact means that it will cover every open cover of F will have a finite subcover. So, let us take, let V alpha be an open cover of F. Open cover of F. Okay. Now, this is our scenario. So, here this is our X D, here this is a set K, and here is somewhere F. Okay. Now, we are taking an open cover of F. What is F C? F C will be the complement of F. So, here somewhere we have a F C. This is our F C. Okay. Now, if we take a open cover of F, then some of the open cover will intersect F C also, because these are F C is F is closed, the F C will be complement, will be an open set. So, it will be adjoint to B alpha. So, if F of C is adjoint to the open set B alpha, open cover B alpha of F, then we obtained N. We obtained an open cover of open cover, we obtain an open cover omega of x of k, omega of k. This is the open cover of B alpha. Now, some of them will definitely adjoin with this. Now, we are taking the open cover of k. Okay. Now, this open cover omega may contains f of c also some of. Okay. So, since k is further, let us see, since k is compact, so every open cover will have a finite cover. So, there is a finite sub collection of omega. So, there is a finite sub collection of phi of omega, which covers k by definition of the compact sets k. Now, the possibility okay. Now, once this omega, which is a open cover of k, and since k is compact, so it will have a finite subcover. So, it means that phi will cover f also. Okay. So, and hence this phi will cover f also, finite sub collection will cover f also. Now, in this phi, if the phi c is f c is also a member, then we can drop that. If f c is a member of this, is a member of phi, then even if we drop, we can, then we may drop it from phi. Still the remaining will be the finite cover of f, still retain an open cover of f, remaining with some more will be finite cover of A. So, but this shows that this implies that this sub collection of this, a finite sub collection of this open cover B alpha covers F. So, this shows F is compact. So, that is the very interesting. Okay. Now, as a corollary to this, if F is closed, and K is compact, then F intersection K is compact. Okay. Now, proof for very easy. What is this? F is closed. K is a compact subset of X. Every compact subset of A is closed. So, since K is a compact subset of say metric space X T, so it implies that K is closed. Every compact subset of this. Further, F and K are closed set. So, relative to X. So, this implies that intersection part of this, intersection of two closed set is closed. Again, this intersection F intersections K is totally contained in K, which is contained in X. K is compact, this is compact. So, every closed subset of a compact set is compact. So, this implies F intersection K, which is a closed subset of a compact set, hence it is compact. Okay. So, that proves the okay. Hence, it is compact. So, this shows the okay. Next result in this is also interesting result. If k alpha is a collection of, if sequence k alpha is a collection of compact subset subsets of a metric space say x d, and such that the intersection of every finite sub collection of k alpha subcollection of these k alpha is non-empty. Then the arbitrary intersection of k alpha is non-empty. So, this shows the finite intersection property basically. If k alpha is a collection of compact subsets of a metric space x d, this is our x d, and k 1, k 2, k n, these are the compact subsets of this k alpha 1, k alpha 2, k alpha n, these are the compact subsets of this x d. And if we take the finite intersection of this, finite intersection of k alpha 1, k alpha 2, say k alpha n, like this. If you take the finite and each finite intersection is non-empty set, then arbitrary intersection will be non-empty. So, this we will prove by a contradiction. How will you say? Suppose one of these sets proof, what we will do is, we will pick up one of the sets out of k alpha, say k 1, such that no element of the k alpha, that set k 1 belongs to each k alpha. It means, when you take the intersection of k 1 to k alpha, all intersection sum, at least some of the points of that will be out of it, will remain out of it. Means there are the not every point of k 1 is none of the point of that set belongs to each alpha, that each k alpha, that is what it is. So, fix a member k 1, then we will reach a contradiction. Okay. Then fix a member k 1 of this sequence of compact set k 1 from the sequence k 1 and put say g alpha as the complement part of k alpha c. Now, k alpha is a compact set. So, it is a closed set. So, g alpha will be an open set in X. It is an open. Now, what we assume that this k 1, assume that no points of k 1, no point of k 1 k 1 belongs to every k alpha, So, this is our assumption. This is very, no point of k 1 belongs to k alpha. It means, when you find it, say picked up the point 1 point of k 1, then at least one of the k alpha will be available where that point does not belongs to, like that. So, no point of k 1 is no point of k 1 belongs to every alpha, k alpha. Achha. Since g alpha is an open set and k alpha, and since this collection G alpha is a collection of open sets, and K1 is a compact set, because it is one of the set which you are choosing out of K alpha, compact set. So, by definition, K1 is, so there are G alpha is a collection of open set and K1 is compact. So, the open cover G alpha of K1 will have a finite subcover, so open cover G alpha of K1 will have a finite subcover. Finite subcover means that is they are all finitely many, indices, say alpha 1, alpha 2, alpha n, such that the K1 is contained in G alpha 1, G alpha 2, G alpha n. Okay, this. But fine. Now, if we, this is a 1, but K alpha I intersection G alpha is empty, because what? Because the G alpha I is taken as the complement of K alpha I. So, if I take the K1 intersection this, so this implies K1 intersection with K alpha 1 intersection with K alpha 2 intersection with K alpha n, then this will be empty set. But what is this? This is a finite intersection of K alpha, but this is a finite intersection of K alphas, is it not? That is, if I picked up the finite collection of this set K alpha, then this are the finite. But what is the condition? If K alpha is a collection of the compact subset of metric space, such that intersection of every finite subcollection is non-empty. So, which contradict our assumption that intersection of every finite sub collection of K alphas is non-empty, because it is coming to be empty. So, it contradicts it, and contradiction is because of our wrong assumption that K1 is one of the member out of K alpha is there, which has a property, then no point of K1 belongs to every alpha. So, this implies that no such K1 is possible. It means that if we picked up, it means whenever you take the points, it is belongs to at least one of the point, at least it will belongs to all of that alpha. That is what it is saying. Okay. So, this is only possible, that this implies that the arbitrary intersection of K alpha over alpha is a non-empty set. because our assumption is wrong. Assumption is that there is a some k 1 which has a property assuming that no point of k 1 belongs to every alpha. So, if you picked up one point, then at least one of the alphas are there where that point does not belong. So, this leads to a contradiction. It means whatever the point you choose, it will belongs to every alpha k alpha, hence the intersection will be non-empty. So, that proves the result. Okay. Now, consequence of this is the following results as a corollary. The corollary is what this says, if k n is a sequence of non-empty compact sets k, if a non-empty compact sets such that k n covers k n plus 1 and so on, k n plus 1, where n is 1, 2, 3 and so on. Then the countable intersection of k n 1 to infinity is not empty. The proof is follows from there, because what is given, k 1 contains k 2, contains k 3, contains and so on. So, this is our k 1, here is k 2, here is k 3 and like this. So, if I take any finite collection of k n's, then their intersection is non-empty. So, clearly the intersection of every finite sub collection of k n's of subcollection is non-empty, and k n's are the sequence of compact sets. So, by previous theorem, the the countable intersection of this 1 to infinity is non-empty. That is proved. Okay. Now, we have another results. This result will also be used if E is an infinite subset of a compact set K, then E has a limit point in K. So, let us suppose the contradiction. Okay. We prove again by contradiction. So, let us say proof. Suppose no point of K is a limit point of E. So, suppose no point of K is a limit point of E. It means what? If no point of K is a limit point of E, it means if we take each K, that is then each at each Q, each point Q belongs to K, has a neighborhood, say V Q, which contains at most one point, that is the Q itself, one point of E, that is Q itself, central, because if suppose it contains infinitely many points, then Q becomes the limit point of it. So, that gives the contradiction. So, suppose it contains at most one point. Now, if I take the finite subcollection of this, then clearly the finite subcollection of these neighborhoods V Q will not cover, cannot cover say E, cannot cover E, because this is our K and E is this. Okay. Now, what we are assuming is no point of K is a limit point of this. Suppose. So, suppose I take a Q here, then this neighborhood Q, this neighborhood O Q will contain a neighborhood which does not include the other points of the Q. So, because Q is not a limit point, so at the most it will contain only the point, but since E has a infinite collection of the points, so a finite number of the disks open cannot cover E, because this will only have a finite number of points available in this, cannot cover E as E is infinite set. So, if this neighborhood cannot cover finite, it can also not cover K. So, obviously, this neighborhood cannot cover finite subcollection of these BQ cannot cover K. But what is K? K is compact. So, every open cover must have a finite subcover. Now, VQ, we are taking a open cover for this. So, it cannot cover BQ. So, if finite subcover must cover Q, which is contradiction, because it does not cover Q. So, this contradicts the compactness of K, hence the result, follows the result. Okay. Now, another two theorems are there. Of course, just one more theorem and then proof is immediate. If IN is a sequence of intervals in R1 such that the INs cover IN plus 1 for n is 1, 2, 3, then the intersection of IN 1 to infinity is non-empty. The proof is very simple. Suppose IN I take AN BN, a closed intervals, and let E be the set of all ANs. Then obviously is non-empty and bounded above by V1, and so let supremum of E is suppose X. Then clearly ANs which is less than equal to AM plus 1, which is less than equal to VM plus n, which is less than equal to VM holds. Therefore, when you take the supremum of this, we get X is less than equal to VM for each m. But AN is already less than equal to X. So, what does it show? This shows that X belongs to IM when M is 1 to 3. So, we get the finite intersection of this non-empty finite subcollection of IM intersection of this is non-empty, therefore, the arbitrary intersection will also. So, this proves the result. Thank you very much.